everyone, this is Shadow Mario 41, and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem in the last chapter. That happened. Don't think I've forgotten about that guy, formerly my favorite unit of this playthrough, formerly a unit that I put up on a pedestal, getting critical hits left and right, and excellent level ups at every turn, defying the odds guy, the diamond in the rough, the superstar of this playthrough, until you had to go and tug at my heartstrings. Just stab me in the back, why don't you? Level up to level 19, which takes a lot of experience, because at level 18 you don't get a lot of experience for a kill, and Guy had to just take all that experience for himself and not gain any stats. Guy, consider this your one and only warning to never do that again. Are you taking advantage of the fact that the rest of my units aren't very good? Because I would not be afraid otherwise to put you on the bench, but he knows that his spot in the army is much too valuable. I can't afford to do that because the rest of my units aren't very good. So Guy, get this through your thick head. If you go ahead and do that again, I will not hesitate to bench you for the rest of this playthrough, okay? And that goes to everyone, too. I don't want any more of that level up crap where I don't get any stats. That's a lot of experience, that's a lot of investment, and so much emotion put into that. I am not letting that happen again. I was really upset about that. Let's get started. Chapter 26, Battle Before Dawn. If you remember in the last chapter, Eliwood, Lyn, and Hector managed to find the Fire Emblem in the Black Fang secret hideout, which, by the way, they found with the assistance of the worst villain ever, Veda, who led them right to the gates of the Black Fang's fortress. Hey, there's only one item in the world that can stop the Black Fangs and Bern's plot. It's the Fire Emblem. Let me just lead them straight towards it. That must have been Veda's thought process, because I can't think of any other situation where her actions would have made sense. They didn't think to leave a scout behind in case people were following them. That's like bad guy villainy 101, but Veda's the worst villain of all time. We've already established that, but our heroes have also learned something else that you've just seen in this little cutscene here. There's an assassination attempt in progress. King Desmond wants to assassinate his own son to fully ensure that he cannot regain control of the throne. I don't understand. Why would you want to do that? But then, as soon as you think that's crazy, you have Sonia over here sending Nino with Jaffar in this mission. You'd be like, why Nino? Because that seems really dumb. This seems like a really high-stakes mission. You might as well just employ the Angel of Death alone. And then Sonia's like, oh, by the way, Jaffar, why don't you kill my kid too? That seems to be a running theme of this story here. Just killing each other's kids. That's not good. Don't do that. I don't know why this game is obsessed with that idea. If you haven't solidified that these characters are evil in your minds by now, they are clearly evil. But take a deep breath. All things considered, this game actually does an incredibly good job at building up one character in particular, that character to the right of the screen, Jaffar. Jaffar in this game is a force to be reckoned with, and you understand as a player, holy crap, Jaffar is wicked powerful, and that's my Boston coming out, and you don't want to mess around with him. They do that in several ways. They do that in the fact that he is, not only does he kill Leela, like they don't just do the little overworld map battling where it makes the little, oh, I got hit sound effect and then the unit disappears. No, they go into the animation and they show Jaffar activating the skill Silencer to instantly kill Leela in a flashy animation that you haven't seen anything even close to that at this point in the game. At that point in the game, you're like, wow, look at Lyn's critical animation. It's so cool. And then Jaffar just comes in, makes the screen flash all red, and you're like, holy crap, I don't want to mess with that. And then they actually give him a little bit of characterization, because you realize, oh, the Angel of Death has been wounded. Nino's the only one that attends to his wounds, so you realize he actually is not as so, ruthless and not as inhuman as you originally thought. And then in this chapter, Jaffar does play another big role, and again solidifies the fact that, wow, he's still amazing. Like, Jaffar is such a badass, and he is definitely my favorite character in this game because of that characterization. I think they try to do a similar thing with the Black Knight in Fire Emblem Path of Radiance in particular, but they kind of drop the ball a little bit. Yeah, you see him kill Grail, who's like unbeatable or whatever, but that's done in a cutscene. That's not done with in-game battle animation where you see the Black Knight like critical him and just destroy him. That's done in some stupid CGI cutscene. I mean, it's alright, and the Black Knight's voice is like weird. And then they tried to bring him out in the village in chapter 11 or 10, moment. The one before you board the boat and sail around. The Black Knight comes out of a random house and he's like, oh my god, I'm here. But you don't see the Black Knight do anything. If they had him kill all like the freedom fighters that were in that chapter and you couldn't stop it and the Black Knight was just going on a rampage, just in that little sectioned off part of the map, not directly interfering with the player, but I'm just saying it would have been so much more of an impact on the player. I would have been like, wow, let's make sure not to get in his way. Yeah, you can look at his stats, but numbers only do so much. If you saw the flashy animations, you would have really had that same sense of build-up. But in any case, they do that with this game and with Jaffar so much. But let's focus on the story for a little bit. You understand that Jaffar is my favorite character, and I've always loved the thief/rogue/assassin archetype in any sort of fantasy game. I think it's the coolest, in my opinion. Certain people like the warrior or the paladin, whatever. I like the assassin. But anyway, someone's praying in the other room. You're right. It's the prince, isn't it? I wonder what he's praying for. Oh my gosh, when you realize that your mission might be not such a good idea. But in any case, they have Prince Zephiel. I offer this prayer unto thee. My coming-of-age ceremony is tomorrow. As the Prince of Bern, I've tried my best not to be an embarrassment to my father, even though he hates me. I know I've not met with his expectations, so even though his father is a jerk, clearly, but even that is not discouraging him from being like, I need to meet my father's expectations because of honor and all that. I will try harder. I will please him. I vow to do better for him. Please. And Nino and Jaffar standing outside, Nino says, oh my gosh. There's like starting to realize like, okay, I have to assassinate this person. I don't know if I really want to do that. Hear me. Tomorrow I will be a man. So this is my last wish as a foolish child. Oh yeah, he doesn't know, by the way, that the Fire Emblem is missing. He really thinks that his coming-of-age ceremony will be tomorrow, and then they'll be like, oh, the Fire Emblem's not here. I guess it's not happening. But anyway, last wish as a foolish child. It's the same one I've asked of you every night for all these years, but please bring father and mother together again. Please let the day come when Guinevere and I and her mother, when all of us can live together happily in the castle. See, that just sounds so nice. That's such a breath of fresh air from killing your kids and assassinating these people and evil, nefarious plots and bringing back dragons. Oh my, I'm losing my voice at this point. I've been yelling so much. But this is definitely my favorite chapter in the game, if I did not mention that already. Oh my god, I'm going to die. But I just love that all the story threads seem to come together in this chapter. All of the important characteristics of a lot of different characters come into play here. A lot of emotions run wild, a lot of other certain things. Jaffar rushes in to try to kill Zephiel. It also sets up for Fire Emblem 6 beautifully. It ties it in very, very well. Jaffar appears behind him. He says, what? Villain! Oh no, Jaffar, have you done it? That will leave him unconscious for some time, he says. Now the time has come for you to do your part, he says to her. But do it, he says. Do it now. And Nino's like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I will, but I don't really know if I want to. I cannot, she says. What? What did you say? Did you say you can't carry out your mission? Why is that? Listen to him. All he wants is his parents' love to be accepted, kind of like me, because Sonia treats me like crap. She won't even hug me. That's all. He's just like me. No matter how I try, Mother always looks at me as if I were nothing, she says. Her eyes are so filled with disappointment. She never held me, not even once. Stop this foolishness. I told you, says Jaffar. I will not permit you to ruin my opportunity. I don't think he actually sounds like that. I know. Do as you must, Jaffar. I won't resist. You can do it easily. But please, please don't hurt the prince. For pity's sake, she says. Pity's sake? I'm ready to die, she says. What do you mean, you? He says. Come. What? Where are they going? Are they just leaving? We're leaving! Hurry! So this is the moment that when I played this game for the first time, I was like, oh my god, they're leaving? Jaffar showing his emotion, abandoning the mission for the greater good? That's so awesome! This is it. Come here. But if you do this, you know the Black Fang's punishment, you know the honor of the Fang and all that, what is it called? The judgment of the Fang. Don't worry about me. Hurry up and get out of here. No! Looks like he's been discovered by a gang of other people. Oh, this person who we saw before, Ursula. Hello, Jaffar. Finished already? Why is everyone just allowed to break into the castle? Where are all the guards? All these people just made it in? Is this why they call you the Angel of Death? Sonia told me that you were behaving oddly, but it appears as her fears were groundless. Of course. I'm sorry, it's not Jaffar's fault. She's like, no, go away, I was supposed to kill you. It was me, the prince, I couldn't. He's like, Nino, shut up. What's all this? Why is the girl still alive? What? I can explain. Maybe you received Lady Sonia's orders, did you not? You were to dispose of the worthless little. Oh no. Uh-oh. Now you did it. Now you done it. Hold your tongue, he says. You will not speak another word. So that's how it is. Jaffar, do you plan on betraying Lord Nurgle? Yes, he does. And that's why he's so awesome, because you're like, oh, this character has gone rogue. He is a rogue, but he's gone rogue, and now he's awesome, because he's the Angel of Death who's just on playing by his own rules right now. I will not let Nino die. Get in my way and I'll kill you. Jaffar! So you have some human emotion after all. You always seem just like those creepy morphs. There's a buzzword that's going to be thrown around several more times. I bet you didn't kill the prince either. Maxime, whoever that is. Yes, I'm here, you old so-and-so. Take your men and put out all of the lights. Block all the entrances. Your targets are Prince Zephiel and the 2 traitors. Finish this before we draw attention to ourselves. I mean, I think this should already be drawing a lot of attention, but whatever. Apparently the prince is left unguarded. Go now! Make haste! Fly, you fools! Oh my gosh, so much going on in this chapter, and we still haven't even talked with our heroes yet. Go now, I will buy you time, he says. No, you must come too, Jaffar. Nino, you must live. You are worthy of living. I am not going to kill you. And Jaffar wanders into the darkness to take care of business. No, wait, don't go, Jaffar. Cue our heroes as they venture in from the top. This is the Royal Manse. The lights have been doused. That's the sound of fighting. What's going on? Are we already too late? No, in fact, it would have been if Jaffar just did what he's supposed to do. But no, Jaffar is awesome enough. He doesn't have to listen to anyone. That's how cool he is. I don't know, but if they're still fighting, we might not be too late. Let's hurry, Eliwood, he says. We have to get inside. We have to protect the prince. So that's why this chapter is so tense. But not only do we get Jaffar being awesome, not only do we have a very intense chapter that's very critical story-wise in the Fire Emblem continuity between this game and Fire Emblem 6, we get Merlinus saying, look here, at long last I've achieved your heart's desire. Your Hummer Merlinus has a wagon! So we saw Dart class up, we saw Canis class up, and now you are about to see the greatest promotion in the game. Merlinus' tent gets to finally class up into the worthy transport that we all knew he could be. Look at how awesome that looks. He is now a level 1 transporter. Yeah, I know that just happens. He doesn't gain these stats on promotion, but now he can move. Merlinus can move around. I can take the convoy with me. We have so much going on in this chapter. It's intense. It's crazy. My voice is probably being drained right now. I've been screaming so much. I was really upset. But anyway, I'll see you guys when my preparations are complete. Alright, I had to give my voice a little bit of a rest there, but now I think I'm finally ready to get started with Chapter 26, Battle Before Dawn. I'm actually kind of surprised. That was the first time, as far as I can remember, that I actually started losing my voice. With all the, I don't want to say yelling that I do in these videos, but let's call it emotional investment. Let's just say that I'm surprised that was the first time it happened. Of course, I want to deploy Merlinus for Battle Before Dawn, because Merlinus is no longer the stationary tent, just the bumbling merchant that you thought he once was, here for comic relief. No, he is now a fully realized transporter. Take a look at those stats. If he had a strength stat, if he could use weapons, he would be a front lines combatant, without a doubt. Besides his resistance, everything else is beastly. So, Merlinus as a transporter can now move around the map, as opposed to just being stationary, fixed in one spot. And you might be thinking, well, is that it? Is that really worth the investment of bringing up Merlinus just so he can move around now? Because if you remember, in some of the earlier chapters, you really do have to baby Merlinus quite a bit. You have to protect his tent, or if you know reinforcements are going to appear behind you, you have to leave a unit back so he can be guarded. And is all that really worth it, just to have Merlinus start to move around? The answer is absolutely yes. If you notice I haven't been using the convoy very much in previous chapters, that's because it's so inefficient to use, because it's all the way back at the beginning of the map. Now that it's right there and keeping pace with the rest of the party, I don't have to backtrack all the way to the start and then come all the way back to where I was to use it. Like, I can just pull out an item whenever I need it. And actually, Merlinus and Pent in this chapter are going to be buddy-buddy. Yes, you probably saw that I brought in Pent here. Let's have Lois stand right there. Pent is going to be here. This is probably going to be a one-time deal for Pent, and he's not really here for his offensive magic capabilities. He's more here for his mastery of staves. Although I guess I could, if push comes to shove later on in this chapter, I could take an Elfire tome from the convoy or something like that. But he has an A rank in staves. I hope he actually gets an S in staves. That would be really cool. But he's going to be helping me out with a bunch of long-range magic in this, or long-range staves in this chapter. Because, if you notice, Zephiel is all the way down here, and we have to guard Zephiel for 15 turns. And you might be wondering, well, how the heck are we supposed to do that? If Zephiel's all the way down here, you know this is the defend chapter, and you can see enemies are already starting to pour in from the bottom corner over here. How the heck are we supposed to get down there with enough time? Well, I mean, that is a legitimate concern, but we do have a little bit of help. We have Nino over here. Nino's going to be a very little bit of help. She'll probably fend off a magic unit or two. She has Elfire. She's a level 5 mage. Very, very under-leveled for this point in the game, but Nino is of the Est archetype in this game, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that means later. But we also have the ultimate defense on our side, unknowingly on our side, I suppose. Jaffar, a level 13 assassin with the stats to back it up, and a killing edge. So he's going to have a 42 critical percentage against everything, and you're going to see him just put on an exhibition for the most part and wipe out all of those enemies down there. Let me just have Pent move over here. Actually, probably right here. And I want Pent to torch and light up the area. I think, if I remember correctly, in Eliwood's mode, this is the last Fog of War chapter, and if it's not, I'll use the torch items as opposed to the torch staff. So there's no sense in saving my torch staff. I mean, it makes sense. You're attacking in the middle of the night. And here comes Jaffar. I don't know why these guys are even going to attempt to attack him, because Jaffar is just going to completely and utterly obliterate all of them. But I have to say, I talked a lot about Jaffar in the cutscene and the dialogue, and I know that. But I have to... Oh, Wrath, that was a bad hit. That was a bad hit. But that's okay. I have to say, it's such a brilliant design decision to put Jaffar where he is, because, first of all, it caps off his build-up to being an unstoppable force, because he's just going to go ahead and destroy everything down in that bottom left corner there. But imagine if he was on the map, but he was with the player characters. Like, what if he started up at the top? Well, that would still be cool. He'd still be on the map, but he wouldn't probably get nearly as much involvement, and you wouldn't see the showcase of him being an unstoppable force, or the Angel of Death, or whatever you want to say. By having him over there, he doesn't interfere with the player's progress, while also showcasing his skills. So anyway, let me just talk about this really quick. Zephiel wakes up. We're under attack, he realizes. This is good. I'm glad he realized that he's under attack. Coming this way. 10, 20, 30. I can count by tens. Oh my god, I have to get away. No, don't run away. Okay, good. I was going to say, I'm glad someone in this game has a little bit of common sense, because if he just ran away, he would have ran into a horde of enemies, and that would have been bad. If I run, they'll simply follow and surround me. Rather than run, I should wait and face them here. So Zephiel, unlike other things that you have to defend in Fire Emblem, sometimes you have to defend a throne or a specific space or another character like a civilian. Zephiel is actually, ouch, that just looks so painful. Zephiel is actually not helpless. Zephiel has a weapon, he has stats, and he can defend himself. He's on a space that gives him 1 defense and 20 avoid. He has a silver sword. He's a level 11 prince. I mean, his stats aren't fantastic, but at least he does have something. He's the only prince in the game, by the way. That's a class exclusive to him. I believe it's modeled after Eliwood's Lord class, but that doesn't really matter. But again, I want to reiterate the fact that what if Jaffar started, instead of starting down there, started up with the player characters, up in that big grass area? Well, that would be cool. You'd be like, oh, Jaffar's on our side, even if he's an other unit. But I would never use him. You would never see the payoff and the build-up of Jaffar being just this amazing character in the game. by having him down there. Oh my gosh, Florina taking out a rage on that mage. By having him down there, he's able to take out a lot of characters and kill a lot of units, which normally you would say as a player, like, you wouldn't want that to happen because he's really just soaking up experience. But it doesn't matter because he's in an area that's unreachable anyway. He's in an isolated part of the map. But it's a part of the map that we will be advancing towards, but there's no way we can get there now. Anyway, it's just, you guys get the idea by now. It's a really, really great design decision to have him there. In fact, if you were to ask me, this guy's a sword slayer. A sword slayer, let me just explain that quickly, is like a sword reaver. I don't know if you've encountered that weapon yet, except it delivers even more bonus damage against foot soldier sword users, and what a great level up for Wrath. So Myrmidons and mercenaries have to really watch out for sword reavers. Hopefully I can get one. I don't forget if I can get one or not. But in any case, yeah, so if you ask me what was my favorite chapter in the game in Fire Emblem 7, or probably what is the most memorable chapter in this game, I'd have to say this one, Battle Before Dawn, is definitely the first one that comes to mind, even though it's hard. Don't get me wrong, this is probably one of the hardest chapters in the game, because there's so many different factors at play. But it's definitely the most memorable and probably the most well-designed, really, when all things considered. Story-wise, it's a climactic scene that we've been building up to for about 4 chapters now. Oh, that was not a good hit from Florina. I really hope she dodged that, but that's okay. As long as she hits both her strikes there, that's all right, because I don't think anyone else can attack her, so she's okay. But yeah, it's a scene we've been building up to for like 4 chapters now. It connects beautifully with the storyline of Fire Emblem 6. If you know the storyline of that game, you know that this chapter, the events of this chapter, actually spark a lot of the events from that game to happen. Because I mean, if you imagine Prince Zephiel, if he's saved and he finds out who tried to kill him, well, the drama's not about to end in Bern anytime soon. But so story-wise, it works out perfectly. Gameplay-wise, even though it is tough, as Lowen gets to level 20 in skill and speed. Kind of weird, but I guess those were 2 stats that he needed. Gameplay-wise, yes, it has Fog of War, and Fog of War can be a little frustrating for Fire Emblem players, myself included, but it is a trademark of these types of strategy games, so I have to, and it makes sense. We're attacking in the middle of the night, so of course there's going to be Fog of War. And it almost feels like a bit of a 3-way battle, too, because you have Jaffar and Nino, the traitors, who turned traitor, from an organization who were already turned traitor. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. But they seem like their own force. And then you have the enemies, the normal Black Fang troops, and then you have the player characters. So it's this weird 3-way battle going on here, and it's really, really epic, I have to say. From a gameplay perspective, it's really, really epic. And, I mean, for better or for worse, this chapter throws at you pretty much everything that you've been preparing for. This is why I kind of lump it in the category of endgame, even though we're technically not in endgame yet. But this is what everything's been preparing for. We have Fog of War, we have promoted enemies, we have to defend this guy, we have other units to recruit, we have chests to get, and we'll have bosses down here that are nothing to scoff at either. They'll be using long-range magic and all that nonsense. So everything pretty much hits you all in this one chapter. So gameplay-wise, it's really, really effective at, really... I don't know the right word for it. I can't really think of a word off the top of my head, but you feel accomplished when you clear this chapter. If I ever clear this chapter, I hope I do. Jeez, this chapter is very difficult. But you feel like you've really, it's a fair challenge in the sense that everything you've learned up to this point is tested right here. You've learned how to deal with fog, you've learned how to deal with long-range magic, you've learned how to deal with chests and thieves and all that type of stuff. Now, some things are a little ridiculous about this chapter. It's very RNG dependent because you have Jaffar, who pretty much acts on his own accord, so you have to rely on the AI quite a bit sometimes. And wait, can Lucius rescue Florina? Did I just see that correctly? That's pretty funny. So anyway, I'm going to have Florina move down here. I want to maximize the movement for Pen. Oh, look at that, 1-hit kill. You notice Florina's inventory, by the way, is probably a little strange. She has a killer lance, an axe reaver, and a javelin. No normal, quote-unquote, lances, but she is going to be the first responder of sorts to Zephiel's crisis down here. She's going to be the first one that arrives, and I gave her the Emblem seal, which is, again, an item obtainable only through the Mario Kart Double Dash bonus disc there that I transferred. because that gives her an extra +10 avoid and an extra +10 to hit. And she'll need to dodge some things. I don't want to say that I need to get lucky, because that puts it in not such a good context. But I do need Florina to dodge a few attacks that she'll be faced with a little bit later in this chapter. Granted, all the hit percentages for those should be below, should be below 40. Oh, Hector with a big blow there to get rid of this guy. That's why he has a Sword Reaver, by the way. All these enemies have swords up here. So, yeah, all the hit percentages should be below 40, but I really hope I don't get any bad luck with that. So anyway, it is now Lowen's time to shine, because against all odds, Lowen has made it to level 20 as a Cavalier, and it's time for him to promote to the Gold Knight Paladin Lowen. If you asked me way back when I started this playthrough, if I ever thought I would have Paladin Lowen on my team, I probably would have laughed at you. But here he is, against all odds, Lowen, the level 1 Paladin. He earned it. I mean, he pulled his weight throughout this whole playthrough, and there he is, now a promoted unit. So, a big fear in this chapter is actually this guy right here. This guy's a level 13 hero. It's like you might as well just have another Linus on the map, because that's pretty much what he is. So, I have to make sure I take care of him effectively. I'm going to have Guy come up here and use the Killing Edge to get rid of that guy. It might seem unnecessary to have Guy equip the Killing Edge, but I have a feeling that that hero is going to attack Lowen, or sorry, is going to attack Guy, is going to go past Lowen. And if he does, I hope Guy gets a crit and counterattack there as well. So let's see what happens. Jaffar is just going to continue to put on exhibition. So anyway, back to this chapter, talking about it. Gameplay-wise, it works out wonderfully. We even get new music for this chapter. It really kind of signifies that things are getting much more serious. And I don't know. This chapter for me is just it's what this game has been building up to, at least the whole second act. After the whole thing with Elbert and that whole plot line plays out, and Jaffar delivering another killing blow there. By the way, I should mention that Jaffar, you've probably noticed Jaffar doing several different critical hit animations. He has his normal one, and then he has that one with all the red flashes on screen, the really flashy, awesome looking one. So Jaffar in this game, or all assassins in this game, actually have a skill called Silencer. And Fire Emblem 8 plays around much more with skills like this, Sacred Stones, where, you know, bishops have Slayer in that game, and Wyvern Knights have Pierce and things like that. In this game, the assassin has the skill, oh, good dodge by Jaffar there, dodging the hero. That guy could actually be a problem, and he's just gonna go ahead and kill him. Assassins have the skill Silencer, which does exactly what you saw right there. It activates half of their critical hit percentage, or half of their critical hit score, a percentage of that. So that was kind of really confusing. So Jaffar's critical hit was 42 there, so he would critical hit 42% of the time. That means he would activate Silencer 21% of the time, and it would be a normal crit the other 21% of the time. Normal crit is the usual ×3 damage, but Silencer is an instant kill against whatever you're fighting. It doesn't matter how much damage you would be doing. If you hit with Silencer, the unit is automatically dead. Yeah, so even if you would do 0 against them normally, which just makes Jaffar and other assassins really, really dangerous to deal with in this game. So, luckily, I don't think we have to deal with anything that has instant kill abilities in this. Like, we don't have to actually fight against anything like that, thankfully. But we get Jaffar, which is great. We get to see him do all his fancy stuff, which makes it awesome. Oddly enough, the assassin is the promoted version of the thief. And when you promote from thief to assassin, like I could promote Legault eventually when I get the proper promotion item, which I will next chapter. I could promote Legault from a thief to an assassin. But oddly enough, when you do that, you lose the ability to use lockpicks and steal and do all the good stuff that thieves can do. For Legault, unfortunately, I know it might stunt his growth a little bit, but I'm going to leave him as a thief. Even if he caps at level 20, you want him to be able to do all that thief stuff. That's why he's here. Increased vision, stealing, chests, doors. He can't do any of that stuff when he promotes to an assassin. But anyway, right now I'm going to use the sleep staff, which we got a long time ago, haven't put to any use now. But you notice these thieves just started stealing some treasure, and I need to make sure that they don't run away with those goods. So I'm going to put this one to sleep with Pent, and that's why Pent's here. We get new music too when you use an offensive magic staff, which hardly ever happens. But yeah, I've gone like whole playthroughs without ever using any of them. But it's really cool to put the thief to sleep. Now he's just helpless holding his Delphi shield. He's asleep for 5 turns. And by the way, all of the all of the treasures in this chapter are incredibly valuable. I mean, look at that. It protects flyers from arrows. You remember that weakness that Florina has, where we have to always be paranoid around archers and ballistas and things like that? Well, no longer. If we have the Delphi shield in our inventory, that eliminates the weakness to arrows. I really want to get that item. I don't want that thief making off with it. And this guy has a rescue staff, which allows you to move allies from distant spaces to adjacent ones. And I think it's more, the rescue staff, in this game especially, is very useful. I think it's more designed to be, like, to get units out of tricky situations. But what you can actually do is you can have a high movement unit, like a Valkyrie. Actually, Priscilla makes not such a bad candidate for that. Like a Valkyrie move and try to, move really far, because a Valkyrie has a movement of 8, and then warp a unit, like, really close to you, like Oswin, who can't move at all. So it could have a lot of uses like that. Anyway, I'm going to have Wrath come down here and try to pick off this thief. I gave him the Brave Bow for this very reason. If both attacks hit, that's great. If not both attacks hit, then if only one of them hits... Oh, okay, we got both. Good. Florina would have been able to finish off the thief next turn. He would have tried to escape. But it's good that Wrath is just able to do it there. That gets rid of all the pressure of being able to do that. So that's fine. And Merlinus is just going to keep up with Pen. Merlinus and Pen are going to be buddy-buddy in this chapter, because Merlinus has a lot of staves in his inventory that Pen could potentially make use of. So anyway, Hector's going to come down here with a Sword Reaver. He's going to get hit quite a bit here. But that's okay. That's just kind of what you got to do. Oh, no! Hector busting out a critical hit, taking the experience for himself. Oh, my goodness. I was going to try to give that to Oswin. I was like, oh, Oswin would be the perfect candidate to get rid of this. And he gets a pretty good level up, all things considered. But no, Hector just swoops in. Sorry, Oswin. I'll have to do something for Oswin. Actually, next chapter will be a good one for Oswin. But anyway, poor Oswin. He's not panning out all that well right now. Just in terms of, he's just losing out on a lot of experience. It's kind of sad. Anyway, what I want to do here then is I want to put Oswin. That kind of throws, I don't want to say throws a wrench in my plans, but I didn't really anticipate that, of course. That's okay. We'll adapt. Guy is going to use his, not Hero Crest yet. He's going to use a Vulnerary to heal up after that hit. He'll probably be using a Vulnerary on every turn now. What I want to do is I want to go up here. I want to trade with Oswin because I want Lowen to take this Short Spear. And Short Spear, actually, probably the only reason Isadora is useful. I believe she was the one who gave me that Short Spear in the first place. I'm going to try not to use, I don't want to say Oswin, try not to use Lowen very much in this chapter. Good, Guy will be able to get rid of that mercenary, no problem. Because he is promoted, and I want to give opportunities for the rest of my units to catch up. But we do need Lowen's high movement to get down to the lower area pretty quickly. Because even though Jaffar is a force to be reckoned with, and he is absolutely phenomenal, once his Killing Edge runs out, he's kind of just a sitting duck. I mean, a Killing Edge only has 20 uses, and enemies are already starting to pour into that chamber down there. So, I mean, eventually, like, Jaffar will still dodge a lot of things, but eventually he'll get hit, for 5 damage here and there, 7 damage, and eventually he'll die. So you do have to save him eventually. You can't just let him wander around there forever, even though he does do cool stuff like this. And he'll just end up soaking up more experience and getting in the way, and it's just bad. It's just bad news all around if that happens. So we want to kind of get Jaffar out of there as quick as possible. I want to get Eliwood down here because Eliwood's going to be talking to Nino. If you couldn't figure it out, Eliwood by talking to Nino, we're going to be able to get Nino on our side of the battlefield, which will be great. This thief is just sleeping because Legault is like, has his wide-eyed look at that thief because he is hungry for a free lockpick because I'm going to be able to steal it from him, which is great. Alright, Pen is going to move over here. Let's see, I want Wrath to also move this way. Wrath might draw attention from the enemies over here. I don't know if they'll actually choose to attack him or not, but if they do, that would be really cool. Actually, do I want to move... Oh, shoot. Do I want to move Wrath that way or not? Or do I want to move him down this way? You know what? Oh, man, because one thing I could do is I could have him camp over here with a longbow, but I think he might actually be more useful if he moves down this way. He doesn't have a thing, does he? No, he doesn't have a... what the heck am I trying to say? A vulnerary. Even though a vulnerary at this point almost gets a little, I don't want to say a little useless, but it's almost a little outclassed. Because healing 10 HP is no longer like the great benefit that it seemed to be before. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to use a torch staff to light this area up. I'm going to have to heal. I think I might have to trade for a vulnerary for Wrath because I could heal on that turn, but I really want to get some vision down there. I really want to be able to see. So let's have Florina move right here. She needs to equip the Axe Reaver. That's why she has it. There's going to be some fighters down here. I think there's another one. There's this guy and one more that are going to be problematic for her, so she needs the Axe Reaver to deal with them. And then hopefully she'll start dodging some attacks. I mean, I really, really hope so. Wrath could take that guy out with a longbow, but I'm going to bring him around this way. Actually, could we? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. I don't need him to have this 2-use longbow anymore. So let's get rid of that, and let's take a vulnerary. I only need one. That's fine. And let's have him move over here to catch up with everyone else. That's perfect. See, the convoy! Useful now! It can move around, which is fantastic. It's just going to stay with Pen. Buddy, buddy. You have to have a buddy system, and that convoy has a buddy system now. All right, Oswin. Poor Oswin. Poor Oswin. He's a good unit, too. Like his stats are not bad. I mean, he's not the best level 17 Oswin I've ever had, but not bad. But he just can't move very fast, and he gets shortchanged because of that so much. All right, hopefully Guy will dodge this. Maybe he'll crit. I don't know. Let's just hope for a dodge. Come on, Guy, dodge the 53. Oh, he gets struck with it. I think it should be okay, but even so, like, it's so much better to just have him dodge out of the way. And Guy's almost ready to class up. I think he's trying to atone for his past mistakes because that really, really pissed me off. If you couldn't tell, him leveling up and not getting any stats. I mean, what the heck? That's just rude. Anyway, we're gonna have Lowen move down here. I want to make sure that I don't lose sight of these thieves. That's going to be very, very important in this chapter, and I want him to equip the short spear and stand right about there. He'll probably get attacked, but that's okay. That's why he has a short spear, so he can counterattack from both direct and indirect. Now, I need to use the short spear because I need to end up taking out these thieves before actually Jaffar can do that. Because if Jaffar kills a thief while the thief has a treasure, look at Zephiel dodging, able to fend for himself, I told you. If Jaffar kills a thief while the thief is carrying a treasure, it's not like it will drop into Jaffar's inventory. It will actually just disappear, which really sucks. So I really don't want that to happen. Lowen 1 strength point away from being able to one-shot this thing. That's alright. I have to use 2 uses of the short spear, but that's okay. Gets rid of this thing, no problem. The Paladin's animation is just so much more cool. Like, look, he's a Paladin now. It's so epic. Anyway, so he's going to take a boots item, and that guy's going to take a Brave Lance item. I told you that these guys, or these treasures rather, are so valuable. I'm pretty sure this is the only opportunity you have to get a lot of these items. And boots, by the way, you might be like, well, what the heck do boots do? Boots permanently increase a unit's movement by 2 points for the rest of the game. It's not a temporary buff. It is a permanent increase. How awesome is that? Lowen should be able to take this guy out and get the boots for himself. Not that I need to use it on Lowen. I might use it on Lowen, actually. I haven't really considered that. There's two main uses I have for the boots. You could either use it on a unit like Lowen or Florina to give a unit with high movement, like Lowen now has 8 movement, move 8 up over there. But you could give it to Lowen, and now all of a sudden Lowen has 10 movement, which is like absurd. Jaffar cannot reach that thief, which is good, so we won't try to go kill him. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that thief does not run away, and I'm going to use the sleep staff on him again. That's why we have it. That's why we have it, to make sure I get those treasures. And brave weapons, too. Really want to take the opportunity to get those. So you can use it on him, or you can use it on Oswin to give him movement. Like, Oswin as a general will only still have 5 movement, and then he would have 7 movement, which you'd be able to keep up with everyone else. So really 2 main uses to something like that. I don't even think they'll attack Merlinus' convoy. If they do, then that just takes attention away from Zephiel, which is a win-win, but I don't even think they will. I don't even think they'll try. So this is good. I'm getting treasures over here. We have to have Florina with the Axe Reaver here, like I said, because this fighter is going to try to attack her. So that is very, very important. Can you tell I planned this out a little far in advance here? Jaffar needs to, like, okay, it'll be luckily the enemy phase first, so this guy's probably going to move up, and I need to rescue Jaffar and get him out of there next turn because I really, really don't want him down there causing trouble anymore. Actually, there might be mages down here, so I'm going to keep the hand axe. I don't know what's in this fog over here, so we'll keep the hand axe on Hector. Definitely going to keep using vulneraries on Guy to heal up back to full, and before we start mounting a defense down here, Osmond will hopefully have a time to shine in this chapter. I brought him and he didn't do anything yet because Hector crit that one guy. But hopefully he'll be able to stand. I wanted to get him to stand over here and be able to just defend that whole area, hopefully. I don't know. It's going to take a while to get him down there, but we'll see how that goes. Eliwood's just going to stand right there. Legault is going to move into that thief, that sleeping thief up there that can't really do anything else. I'm going to move her, Lucius right over there. And Wrath is going to join the party down here. Wrath will be able to catch up quickly, which is good. It'll give him the Iron Bow. Should be just fine. And here we go into the enemy phase. All right, this guy should not be. I was like, should not be able to hit. He has a hit of 0. Ow, that's pretty bad. When you have a hit percentage of 0, I mean, really, man. And he chose to attack anyway. Like, I don't know. I don't get that decision, but whatever. Not my place to judge, I suppose. He's going to come up here, miss Zephiel, and Zephiel double attacks and takes down a fighter. How about that? I told you, he can fend for himself. I don't think he's been hit yet. Now he will get overwhelmed eventually. You can't just leave him there forever because that would be really bad. He's going to dodge that. Good. No problem. Okay, next turn coming up is when we're going to have to need Florina to start dodging some things. Now, like I said, all those hit percentages should be pretty low. Like, I'm not going to be faced off with, like, a 70 hit percentage. And I'm like, come on, Florina, dodge. It's not going to be anything like that. But they are hit percentages that she should dodge. They'll be, like, in the 30s. All right, Jaffar is advancing pretty far down there. I want to make sure I rescue him and get him out of there. I won't be able to do it quite next turn because he's a little too far away. But I'll be able to do it the turn after. So let's get Lowen down there now. Can Hector reach this guy? Yeah, Hector can reach this guy now. So can I throw a hand axe? Oh my god, only 54 hit percentage. Ugh, that's pretty bad. But the thief's just sleeping there, so you know what? I'm not even going to bother with him right now. I'm going to move Lowen down here to get him in position. He's to rescue Jaffar, and he needs to get Jaffar out of there. So I'm going to do that right now. Pence, by the way, is now going to move over here and help provide some more support on this side. Might as well use a torch. Actually, I can use a physics staff to really even heal up these guys. But I'm just going to use torch to light up this area a little bit more. I don't want that thief ever out of my vision. So I'm going to do it right about there and light up that whole middle section. I want to make sure that thief stays within range, which is great. Maybe Oswin. I mean, Oswin could maybe go to the convoy. Oh, now that I'm thinking of this, Oswin could maybe go to the convoy and then take out that thief. Why don't we have him do that? It'll at least be useful. You're going to go down there. We're going to take Guy down here. He's going to use his last vulnerary, but hey, that's what they're for. Actually, I'm going to equip the Killing Edge and use the last vulnerary to heal up a little bit more. Guy will probably class up in this chapter. That's another thing that this chapter is great for, is we get a lot of promotions. Although in Hector's mode, you actually don't. Like I don't want to say my scale, but my judgment of how far leveled I am, like how I've been doing with experience, is a little skewed because I'm used to playing Hector's mode. I'm gonna steal that lockpick from that sleeping thief right there. Get a free lockpick. I was worried about running out of lockpicks, so I'm glad I was able to grab that one. So yeah, when we play Hector's mode, which is what I usually play in this game, I don't usually play Eliwood's mode, although it's a nice change of pace to play Eliwood's mode again and not Hector's mode. This chapter, by the way, is completely different in Hector's mode. Just the layout of all the units is very, very different. But yeah, so you have more chapters before this in Hector's mode, so by now, usually all my units have been promoted. But so it's kind of interesting to go through this with unpromoted units. It actually makes it harder in a sense. Anyway, Eliwood's going to move up here, and he's going to talk with Nino. Are you from the palace? The prince is in his room. Save him, she says. I'll take care of anything that happens out here. I'll take care of everything above. Wait, you're Nino, aren't you? What? How? Actually, how does he know that? That's right, he was spying. We overheard some things. So, your mom kind of wants to kill you. What? But you must be lying. I'm sorry, it's the truth, he says. The Black Fang is no longer the group you thought it was. Nurgle is using it to his own ends. That shouldn't be shocking at all, but it is somehow to Nino. Mother, it can't be. You mean she didn't actually love me? Well, I mean, come on, Nino. I'm not asking you to believe this all at once, he says, but it's the truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth. You can't handle the truth. Come with us. You're no assassin. You must know the best thing for you. So we get Nino on our team, which is great. Like I said before, Nino is of the Est archetype. That's actually a term named after a character, named after Est from Fire Emblem, the very first one. And she is a unit you get really late in the game. She comes very, very under-leveled, but her growth rate, like see right now, that's horribly useless. But her growth rates are phenomenal. So if you invest time and effort into Nino, she becomes an absolute beastly unit, which is great. Okay, we're going to equip Florina with the Killer Lance, and we're going to rely on some dodges here. So here we go. Florina, you need to start dodges, specifically that hero right there. Oh, we got a general coming up too. Jaffar needs to get out of there. I mentioned that already, but he like really needs to move now because I don't want what's his name, Lowen to be advancing too much farther down. Oh, that monk will probably attack him and keep him at least a little bit at bay. He needs to dodge at 36. Good, Florina needed to dodge that 36. She didn't really need to do that, but that's fine. I'll take that as long as she dodged that 36, because that would have been 15 damage. She gets the kill there with the Killer Lance. She levels up to level 20. Not bad for a level up. Considering her speed is already capped, that's my level 20 Florina. I'll take it. Here we go, another guy coming in with Flux. The rest of these aren't that worrisome. I think there's one more mercenary that could maybe do like 9 damage. Oh no, that mercenary is right there, so we don't have to worry about him. All these other magic attacks are negligible. We just had to dodge that one hero, and that's why I gave her the emblem seal there, so she could have a better chance at doing just that. Okay, Jaffar's gonna stay. I hope Jaffar actually moves down and to the left. I have a feeling he's just going to move one space straight down, but I hope he moves down and to the left, because that would make rescuing him so much easier. Come on, down and to the left. Down and to the left. Oh, he didn't move at all. Oh, he's out of his killing edge. His killing edge is gone. That's why. So once his killing edge runs out, like I said, he's kind of just a sitting duck, but he'll just sit there. Like, he won't actually move at all. He'll just sit there wherever he ends up, which is bad, obviously. So we need to rescue Jaffar and get him the hell away from there. That's what Lowen's going to be used for now. We are going to now use Pent over here to light the way, again, use another torch staff, because now that Jaffar is gone, we also lose the vision that he provided, which is a valuable asset, but not, having Jaffar alive is far more valuable than that. So what I want to do now is I see how I'm concerned about him, but at the same time, he's asleep. I don't really know when I'm going to get rid of him. But he's asleep for 3 more turns. So I'll cross that bridge when I get there, I guess. I'm just going to go over. I'm actually not concerned with that shaman at all. Like, he can just stay there all he wants, and I really, really don't care. Let's see. Can we put Hector, maybe? I want to draw as many enemies towards him as possible. So I think even though Hector is not the magic tank type, I think I'm going to put Hector right here. That's not in range of the hero, is it? Because I really don't want that to happen. And I really don't want to be in range of other things that are going to inevitably happen in this chapter. Actually, you know what? Next turn is going to be good. Next turn I'm already planning on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep him in range of Pen, because next turn I want to cast Barrier. Cast like it's a spell. I want to use Barrier on Hector, so that'll probably help him out a little bit. Guy is so tough to use when he's not a sword master. Like, can he become a sword master already? That'll make this so much easier. Guy's gonna move right here, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, let's keep him right there. Let's see how much damage he takes. Oswin coming down slowly but surely, making his way all the way from the top of the map. Again, not concerned about that shaman. I don't think he can do any damage to anyone, really. If anything else, Lowen will just, even with rescue Jaffar, Lowen should probably be able to come up here and just get rid of him. Essentially, I'm going to bring Jaffar all the way over here, because Jaffar and Nino need to talk to each other. So we're going to do that, and then that'll be pretty much all I have to do in this chapter, besides, of course, getting the treasures and whatnot. This guy is going to drop the Delphi shield when I attack him. Legault can take him out easily, no problem at all, and he's asleep. So, oddly enough, I find it weird, at least in this game, it's not, in Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, I forget if in Path of Radiance, but I know in Radiant Dawn, if a unit is put to sleep, not the best level up for Legault at all, if a unit's put to sleep, they actually, definitely sending that to Merlinus, they actually get their hit percentage against them is automatically 100 because they're asleep. I mean, it does kind of make sense. I don't know why that's not the case in this game, to be honest. I really don't know why. Lucius is going to move. I hope that hero, what's that hero's movement? It's right to there. I don't want Lucius to be attacked by that hero, but no, Lucius isn't even close. So Lucius is going to stand right there with a lightning tome. Florina, level 20, ready to class up to a Falco Knight. Let's do that right now. I want to make sure she has the Javelin equipped. I want to give her the Javelin. And here we go, Elysian Whip, classing up Florina. Her time has come now to promote from a Pegasus Knight to a Falco Knight. And you can see just how epic that looks now. She's riding a flying unicorn. Like, how cool is that? There we go, level 1 Falco Knight, 5 health. Holy crap, that is useful. And, like, defense. Oh my god, that's wonderful. And we get to use swords now as Florina. I'm not going to be using swords with Florina in this chapter at all, but you do get to do that now going forward.